$200,000 USD Bitcoin in 2025. Is that doable? There is at least one person in the world, probably a few more, but at least one, an Australian-based wonderful gentleman named Bisher from Stormrake. Stormrake, the full-service cryptocurrency brokerage based in Australia, but going internationally now as well. We've got him on the line. We're about to talk to him, but here is Bitcoin on the Bitstamp exchange price in USD. This is where we are right now, $105,986 in US dollars. Here is the $200,000 mark. Some will say, you're crazy. And some will say, no, that's completely doable in 2025. We are going to take a chat with Bisher. And of course, did you know the show is brought to you by one of my brand sponsors, Stormrake. So let's pop on Bisher from Stormrake. This is Bisher, everyone. Say g'day.
G'day, Joe. Such a pleasure and a privilege to be here. Thanks for taking the time out of your morning to have me on.
No worries, man. It's great to have you on the show. Of course, we've known each other for a little bit, actually, and
right.
through a good friend of ours. And just out of interest, because we've got a lot of Goldstackers and precious metal stackers here, I worked with a gentleman named Sam Laurie, who at Bullion Now, and then you and Sam have been friends for a very long time, and I got introduced to you through Sam. So this is how I know Bisher, and Bisher has been the COO, the Chief Operating Officer of Stormrake, Australia's leading, I believe, cryptocurrency full-service broker. And we're going to talk about $200,000 Bitcoin today. We'll take a look at the charts as well. I'm going to ask you what some of your other favorite altcoins are too, and we might share the screen, have a look at the prices as we talk about them. But first, let's start off with this crazy notion of potentially $200,000 Bitcoin. Let's get straight into that. Then we'll talk about Stormrake and cryptocurrency brokerage and all that. But let's get straight into it, mate. What's the deal with $200,000 Bitcoin?
Look, I know it sounds like a catchy, clickbait type of title, but it really isn't. My assessment as to why we're heading towards 200,000 USD per Bitcoin is simply grounded in economics and my background in foreign exchange. So let's get out into the actual economic case as to why Bitcoin will get to 200,000. We can step into the technicals and some of the fundamentals as well.
All right. Now, so while you're talking, I may share the screen of the Bitcoin price, but yeah, go for it, man.
By all means, we're having a nice little pullback, so great for buyers. But so let's dive straight into why, right? Let's look at it from take a massive wide lens shot of the economic landscape. Bitcoin now has really entered the foray as a macro asset class. It's not gold. I don't want to ever draw the parallels of it being digital gold. Gold is gold, silver is silver, Bitcoin is Bitcoin, and they have unique properties and characteristics. But it is genuinely a macro asset class now. Now, what that means is that the US currently has $37 trillion in national debt. Their interest expense on the debt alone is $1 trillion US dollars. That is larger than their defense spending. That is larger than their Medicare spending. That's larger than their Social Security benefit scheme. It's the largest line item in the United States government's balance sheet. And so we need to understand that really well first and foremost. It's why gold bugs are gold bugs. It's why silver apes are the silver apes. They see the massive US debt crisis looming. Moody's has recently downgraded US government debt from AAA to AA1. So that means that their debt quality isn't as pristine as it used to be perceived. And you've got to understand in the Bank of International Settlements, there's three reserve assets, gold being one of them, the US dollar, and US treasuries. Now, the US dollar and US treasuries are fast losing favor because people are now expecting that the US government is not going to be able to repay its debts. It's why Trump has been putting a lot of pressure on Jerome Powell to lower interest rates. He's asking for a full 100 basis point rate cut. So there's a lot of posturing there. It's actually why they attempted to bring in the tariffs and the trade war that was there. It's not to be able to say, oh, well, America's getting a bad deal. That's not the reason for it, is that they're trying to refinance their debt at much more manageable levels. So why they're trying to do that is that They're trying to bring their bond yields down and then increase the value of the bonds so that they can be able to have a lower interest expense. That's all that this is all about. That's all
Okay.
that it's about. Don't worry
Mm.
about the headlines, the Trump tariff trade wars with China and all. That's just a distraction. It's
Right.
just a distraction.
Right.
Everything boils down to the fact that the US government is doing all that it can to refinance its debt. Now, there was an attempt at lowering the debt by cutting the deficit by wasteful spending. That was the attempt of Doge and Musk, and then we had the famous Musk-Trump fallout because Trump has pushed forward with his big beautiful bill, and
Mm-hmm.
so you really can't cut your way out of this. What the
Mm.
US will have to do is a soft default, which is inflating away the debt on a nominal basis. So what happens is they will print an ungodly amount of of US currency. That US currency will then be used to be purchasing government bonds, which
Mm-hmm.
will drive bond yields down, and then from there, that will also cause asset prices to rise significantly. The asset that I think will benefit the most from all of this will be Bitcoin, right?
Interesting.
I think precious metals will do incredibly well as they have already.
Yes.
Gold smells it, and that's why it's up 27% for the year.
Mm-hmm.
Silver knows it, that's why it's up 27% for the year.
Yep.
And now Bitcoin, which is only up about 10, 12% for the year, is starting to catch up, and the breakout
Interesting.
move is going to be massive. And that's why I'm forecasting 200k Bitcoin, because last year we went up 140% year on year. No, sorry, on the calendar year in
Mm.
2024. In 2025, I'm expecting some diminishing returns. We started the year at 94,000. We end the year at 200,000 or thereabouts. That pretty much brings us to about 104, 105% gain on the market price, and that's why I've reached 200k as my target.
Wow. Do you have a specific range within that? So do you, so, people are going to ask, well, okay, that's the high target. Do you have a bare minimum target within, that's something that's lower than that too?
Yeah, I would say, it's actually a band between 180k and 220k. So my more
Okay.
bullish case is a lot more higher than where the 200k is.
Right.
It's just that 200k is the midpoint between, the bare minimum that I think we're going to hit is 180, and then,
Right.
if it exceeds my expectations, 220 would be massive. But somewhere between there is probably the right fit.
Mate, if Bitcoin hit $220,000, you'll see me on, well, you won't see me. I'll be a ghost. Ghost
you'll
town.
be you'll be
I'll,
in Sardinia,
I'll be
off the coast with your yacht.
wherever the taxes are favourable for my situation. Now, interesting. So, and I like that what you've said about look diminishing returns, which it does seem to be the case. And I like the fact though that that is still giving it room to move from here. And I love the fact that you are because in this in particularly in this show I've been a stacker of precious metals for so long, and then I got in since 2010. I got into crypto, but I've said this about 10 million thousand times to people. I bought my first 2 Bitcoin for 128 Australian dollars each back in 2013. Now, we all make our own mistakes. I still don't have those 2 Bitcoin because, they got lost on this or whatever and some altcoin and something got hacked and, rugged or whatever. But this stacking community here, Good Morning Stackers, you can have the one side of it where, oh, I hate Bitcoin and da da da, and you've got the other people. It's like, oh, Bitcoin's the best thing, and precious metals are, they suck. I love the fact that you're pro precious metals as well. I find that very interesting what you've said about gold's had its run, silver's going now. You can see platinum, but Bitcoin you believe is going to follow that. Do you kind of see gold as the canary in the coal mine, and then things, including Bitcoin, are going to follow that up? Is that kind of what you're saying there?
Absolutely. Gold is the king Mac Daddy of alternative assets, and it has been the king for 5,000 years. So I come from a Lebanese background as an Arab gold runs through my veins. We love it.
Literally, yeah.
You go down to the to Dubai. You see these gold souks, the gold shops that are just
I've been
lined
there.
everywhere.
Yeah,
It's absolutely fantastic. So,
yeah,
for me, gold and silver are fantastic physical assets. I'm very bullish on precious metals. I don't think that there's any reason to be against them if I'm a Bitcoiner, and there's no need to be against Bitcoin if you're a gold bug. I was in Bitcoin Las Vegas recently, and there was Peter Schiff, who's an ardent, staunch anti-Bitcoin guy. He's a pro
yeah,
big gold bug. Michael Saylor is on the other end of the spectrum. He's
yeah,
very much pro Bitcoin,
yeah.
anti gold, and I'm like, guys, it's not a one and a zero. It's not a binary decision that you have to make. These assets work best together. There's things that Bitcoin can do that gold can't, and there's things that gold can do that Bitcoin can't.
Correct.
Right? It's you don't want to. It's like, what do you prefer, pizza or burgers, mate? I like both of them. Just depends on what. It just depends on which day of the week you reach
Yeah,
me on,
that's
right?
right.
So that's why I think it's really good to put them together. And we think that as a portfolio, reason why gold runs first is that it's like I said, the traditional king, Mac Daddy of alternatives. When people lose faith in the system, they run to gold. It's been around for 5,000 years. Bitcoin is only around for 16 years. So with that in mind, it doesn't have that robust multi-century uh, time proven
That's right.
robustness that gold and silver has. But what it
Yes,
does have is it's got a much smaller market cap. It's got about $2 trillion. In fact, silver has a similar market cap to
correct.
Bitcoin. And
Yep,
that's why it can move a lot quicker once gold starts running, right? And
absolutely.
so for me, gold is absolutely the market leader when it comes to alternative assets. And so when I see it running, I don't, get upset. I'm like, oh, why are people buying gold and they should be buying Bitcoin? I'm
Right.
like, go gold, go you good thing. Run, 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 because I
Yeah.
know that Bitcoin will play catch up. And that's what happened last year in 2024. Gold had this really nice run up in the first half of the year. Bitcoin was chopping around between 50 and 65K for about a few months where it wasn't really doing much, similar to the kind of price action we've seen in Bitcoin in 2024 so far. 2025 so far. And now we're going to be playing this big catch up move. And, good on gold for setting the trend. Silver's played catch up. Platinum is breaking out to the stars. And now
Yep.
Bitcoin is starting to play a big catch up. Now, the reason why this is happening is because people are losing faith in traditional financial markets and traditional currencies, as they
Mm,
should. They're garbage assets. And then the other thing is that people are wanting to, rely less on a legacy system that has really gutted the middle class, and that's why
mm.
Bitcoin, gold, and silver are really running at the moment.
Now I'm sharing the screen right now, which you can probably see there. I just showed the gold price. We'll actually go back to that. I also want to know anything about, and I'll give you a heads up now about Peter Schiff. I want to talk about that in a second, and we're also going to talk about Stormrake, etc. But here is gold. Okay, so this is gold's
Wow.
run once it broke out from that 2,000 US dollar mark. It had, that big move, up into where we are now at around about 34, $3,500 mark. And so this started, February of last year when it broke out of that $2,000 area. And here is Bitcoin, this is the Bitstamp exchange price. Where do you think we are in comparison to gold right now? So, for example, again, so here's Bitcoin, but if I show you that gold price again, where do you think we sit? I know you can't use the cursor and do it for me, but kind of where do you think we sit within that rise of gold? Where do we sit in Bitcoin at the moment? Do you think we're kind of still back here, or are we kind of halfway up here? Where do you kind of think
Yeah.
we might be?
So you know how when gold was, tropping around that 2000, between 1800 and $2,000 level,
Yep.
that's when we were kind of really starting to. That's probably where we're at right now, because 100K has been a big psychological level for Bitcoin investors and the market in general, and
Right.
there's been a lot of noise around that level,
Yep.
similar to how $2,000 was a big psychological level for gold, and there was
It
a lot
was
of noise
massive, yeah.
around that at the. And so, but once that breakout happened, it was glorious. So I think whilst we're still chopping around 100, we might even see, a pullback to 94, 95, run
Yep.
back up, and we might chop in this level for a little while, but the longer the consolidation, the bigger the breakout. In fact, silver went through a multi-month consolidation just this year alone, and then went through a massive breakout. So for me, as soon as I see that really nice clear break of that structure that we're sitting in right now,
Yeah.
which we might see, multiple retests and bounces around it, and that could
Sure.
extend for a few months.
Ah.
That breakout to 200 is going to be glorious.
So you think it's something again, something like that kind of thing. Of course, everything we say here is. Let me go back to you and me. I should do the old disclaimer. Everything we say here, not financial advice, and obviously anything you say is your own personal advice, your personal opinion, not necessarily opinion of Stormrake. Blah 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 blah. But you see that kind of move. So what I showed just there was just the screen. Similar thing. So if this was gold and you're saying this is, if I'm understanding correctly, you're suggesting that this is gold around that sort of $1,800 to $2,000 area, and that gold's had its big move like that. You think something-ish to that kind of degree? Is that what
Yeah,
you're thinking?
yeah, correct. The silver daily chart is actually a much more aligned chart, in my opinion. Now,
Okay.
I'm not saying that Bitcoin and silver are correlated. They just have similar price action
Sure.
behavior.
Yeah.
It's also because they've got a comparable market cap. It's a lot more, it's quite useful as well.
Gotcha.
So yeah, we had seen it chopping around that 32, $33 handle for a really long time,
Yeah.
and then it was just stuck in this, godforsaken range for ages.
Yes.
And then once it broke out, that breakout that you're seeing now
Just
is
there,
the
right there. Yeah.
genesis of is a big move to what you got targeted as 70, which would make perfect sense. So
Yeah.
that kind of move is quite common. You see a long consolidation period
Yes.
that is usually followed by a massive breakout. And if you look at the number of, like, the fact that Donald Trump wants to remove the debt ceiling, they're just going to increase their deficit spending by $4 trillion. The national debt is on its way to they're on its way to $42 trillion in national debt. So
Mm.
yeah, I mean, there's no other direction other than up. Now there will be volatility. There
Yes.
will be,
Yeah.
there will be pullbacks, corrections. There will be, consolidations. It's not just up and to the right indefinitely,
Of course.
but we have to look at the macroeconomic factor. Why is Bitcoin even above 100K in the first place? Why is
Mm.
gold on its way to 3,500? Why is silver finally breaking out of a multi-year consolidation level? All of these reasons are pointing to the fact that the fiat currency system is probably in its last innings. And people go to me, oh, when's it going to collapse? Bish, when's it going to collapse? When's the US dollar going to collapse? I'm like, guys, since 1966, when around the time that the Aussie dollar got minted and floated for the first time, it has lost 99.9% of its purchasing power compared
Yep.
to 1966.
Yep.
So when people say, when's it collapsed? When's it going to collapse? When's it going to collapse? I'm like, guys, it already
It's been
has.
happening, man.
It's like
That's
what
it.
you're asking for is the last 0.01% of
Yes.
the end of the currency. I'm like, it's already
Yes.
finished, guys. It's already
Yeah.
finished. If you're going, I go down. I got a cup of coffee this morning from the cafe downstairs next from the office, and it's $5.50. I mean, it's already happened, guys. What are you talking? You're coming to me like, Bish. When's the collapse going to happen? I'm like, it's already done, mate. Your purchasing power is finished. Get
Yeah.
into Bitcoin, gold, and silver, so that way you can preserve some of it.
Yeah, the bad guy's already in the house, if that makes sense
Yes.
from a horror movie
Yes.
perspective. It's been the slowest poisoning. It's been like the longest Munchausen's by proxy poisoning in entire history. So I absolutely agree. When's it happening? It's been happening over the last 50, 60 something years. So traditionally, some people have said in the past that Bitcoin more so follows risk on assets versus risk off assets. So more risk on follows the Nasdaq, for example, tech stocks, and precious metals more so risk off assets. You clearly it must seem, and I don't put words on your mouth, but you tell me that you're seeing there might be that flip there where everyone goes, well, they're seeing gold go through risk off, fear, and fear is a huge persuasion tool. Okay, if people are fearful enough, they're going to go to, the things that can save them. Traditionally, Bitcoin again followed that kind of tech stock thing, unless you've got better information, and you're kind of seeing that it's not really a risk on asset, it's more like a risk off asset. Where do you sit on risk on versus risk off for Bitcoin?
It's a fantastic question, Joe, and I'm glad you're asking it. Look, in terms of how the market perceives Bitcoin right now, it is definitely a risk-on asset. I can't tell you otherwise in good
Mm,
conscience,
mm,
right? Even recently, there was a bit of concerns in the Middle East, Iran-Israel tensions flaring up again, and Bitcoin immediately traded down, whereas gold, silver traded up, right? That tells you everything you need to know about how the market perceives Bitcoin, gold, and silver. Bitcoin is very much entrenched as a risk on asset. It's the fastest horse in that risk on asset race. So if you're going to go risk on, why trouble yourself with equities or even a basket like an S&P 500 or a single stock when you could really just buy Bitcoin and have the fastest horse in the risk on race? And
mm,
gold and silver firmly sit in the risk off category, right? And so when you combine these two assets together, you get the best of both worlds. When the market is fearful, which it does happen, you're thankful that you've got gold and silver. And when the market is greedy and is expecting more and is bullish, you're grateful to have your Bitcoin. You put those risk on and risk off assets together, and that's when you get to really supercharge your portfolio. And the best part about it is you actually lower your overall portfolio volatility because they're non-correlated. Bitcoin, gold, and silver do not move at the same time. Sometimes they do, but it's not a correlation you can rely upon.
right.
But what they do is that when gold has its move and silver has its move and the market is risk off, that's when your precious metals side of your portfolio is really running to the stars. And when the
Mm,
market is risk on, feeling bullish, there's no concern in the world, things are
mm,
going to get better,
mm.
then you're really happy that you got your Bitcoin. And then when you put them two together, it means that your drawdowns are less because although if you were exposed to just gold and silver or just Bitcoin, you would be missing out on massive gains and also increasing your volatility risk as well.
Well, I mean, looking at something like the Bitcoin to gold ratio is one of the best ratios to be aware of. And there are great times where, you can swap in and out of those over longer periods of time as well. I also think that, we talk about gold as a hedge against stuff, and precious metals. But Bitcoin can be that same hedge, just in the opposite direction, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Now let's talk. We've done the $200,000 Bitcoin, 180, 200,000. You've made your case. It's a compelling case as well. I want to ask you about your favorite altcoins. Dare I say it? Now, are you a Bitcoin maxi, or do you like the other cryptos as well? Now, of course, being the COO of Stormrake, again Australia's leading cryptocurrency full service broker, you don't just deal in Bitcoin. People can call and email and all that to buy a whole bunch of different altcoins. Tell me which are some of your favorites, and I may even get them up on the screen as you're talking about them.
Sounds good. So to answer your initial question about whether I'm a Bitcoin maxi or not, I'm what I like to describe as a Bitcoin traditionalist. And what that means is that I'm not Bitcoin only, but I'm Bitcoin dominant, right? In the
Centric.
sense
Okay,
that,
sure.
yeah, yeah. So, 90% of my cryptocurrency portfolio is Bitcoin.
Right.
And the reason behind that is actually one that's grounded in performance. So last year in 2024, out of the 16,000 largest cryptocurrencies by market cap, only 33 managed to have a better annual performance than Bitcoin,
Right.
right? So you're actually taking on exorbitant amounts of risk for less reward
Mm,
when you parlay in the altcoin markets. And that's
right.
why I get my clients to focus on Bitcoin predominantly, but not
Mm,
Bitcoin only, because there
yep.
are opportunities outside of Bitcoin. My favorite three classes of cryptocurrencies outside of Bitcoin, of course, is starting with layer ones. Think of Ethereum, Solana, Sui, and Sonic. They
Right.
are my favorite layer ones at the moment. Ethereum
Interesting.
has massively underperformed against Bitcoin
Oh
this
yeah.
year so
I'm
far.
sharing. I'm
It's start,
sharing. I'm sharing the massive underperformance of Ethereum right now on the
yeah,
screen. You can see that.
Yep, it's called performance dysfunction. It just can't seem to catch a lift.
Mm.
But at the same time, it's starting to bounce now. We've had that double bottom. We're seeing a nice bid come off that level. So I'd expect, a nice turnaround from where we are now,
Well,
at least a
from a
50%.
technical perspective, I
Yeah.
do agree with that. It does look like a double bottom, and just getting a little bit technical for a second. What it looks like here, just for the people watching, is it looks like a potential very and not so hidden bullish divergence, and that's actually where. And this is the Ethereum to Bitcoin ratio. So as this number is going up, Ethereum way outperforming Bitcoin. Generally, that signals when Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin that the other altcoins, not every single one, but the general altcoin market might, or at least some of the big boys might continue to outperform as well. So you've got an equal high, and technically it's a double bottom. It's slightly higher, and then a lowering. Sorry, so let me start that again. A equal or higher low, I should say. So that's basically an equal low, and then a lower low on the relative strength index. We've also gone into extremely now undervalued or oversold on the Ethereum to Bitcoin ratio. So, in my personal opinion on that, just given my technical thing, we can easily see a move up in Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Again, now, of course, Bitcoin can continue to be going down in price. Ethereum could be going down in price or both going up in price, but just one's outperforming the other. But you've got this range here, and we talk about it. It's called the Zag zone. And it's anywhere in here where you'll probably find some resistance. But look at all this space in between here and here. Is there a bunch of trapped money as such? No, there's a lot of empty space. It's not till you get up to around about here in that zone right there. That is, you're kind of meeting some resistance. You're going to battle with previous people who started buying Ethereum back here. So I do agree. I think Ethereum in particular has some room to move. One you mentioned then, of course, you mentioned Sol, you mentioned Sui as
Sui
well.
and Sonic. Yeah,
Sui,
yeah,
Sonic. That's an interesting one. Can
yeah.
you? I haven't done a deep dive in Sonic. Some of my subscribers have mentioned Sonic before. What can you tell me about Sonic, please?
Yeah, so Sonic used to be known as FTM or Phantom, was what it was previously known as before
Oh,
the
okay. Now I get you. Right.
rebranding. Yeah, so for me, Sonic is just, it's trading at like 37, 36 cents. It's massively underperformed against the other layer ones.
Right.
So for me, I think that it's got a huge developer activity. The total value locked, or which is just like how many people are engaging on the platform and are actually porting funds away from other layer ones like
Right.
Ethereum is increasing. So
Interesting.
whilst the fundamentals are looking solid, and the developer activity and the total value locked continues to increase, the price action continues to decrease, or the price
That's
continues to
right.
decrease. So that's also a very bullish setup for me, because whilst price is not indicative of value, it just shows that it's trading at a discount relative to the wider ecosystem. And I think whilst it's trading at 37 cents, it's got a potential to, even if it just hits its local high of this year, has got a potential for a 300% upside from where we are now. So whilst I expect Bitcoin to double, within the next 6 months, nothing guaranteed, but that's what
Of
my
course. Yeah.
expectations are.
Yeah.
But if Bitcoin runs to 200, a Sonic running to $1 is completely doable.
Interesting. And again, just from a technical perspective, just showing you guys, we're coming down to match down here. So you might be going to battle down in here. So that could be bottoming out there would be that would be sort of par for course as such. I wouldn't call that, now see, I wouldn't call this an inverse head and shoulders. So it's not your traditional like left shoulder, head, right, no, because you've come up here, but it's interesting that it's coming right down here. Let me just check one thing. In Sonic, this is interesting. I have not been in Sonic, and I'm really going to have to consider this. Now, we are below the 0.618 Fibonacci from this low and this high, but I tell you what, if it can crack back up into this zone here and then crack out of there, yeah, you're looking absolutely amazing. And of course, good old Sui as well. What's been your journey with Sui?
Yeah, so we've been really bullish on Sui since probably May, June of last year when we really started to talk about it with our clients and start recommending it to them.
Hmm.
I still think it's got some legs in this upcoming run up once the kind of market removes its fearful jitters. I
Sure.
think that Sui can easily reclaim and head up north of $6 US and we're looking very strong at the moment. So for me, it's got a less of an upside compared to some of the ones that we've talked about relative to like Sonic and the rest.
Yeah.
But I think it's still one of those ones that has commanded enough market um, share and also mind share for it to really be retained as a top performing layer one. Outside of that, I'm very bullish on the ISO class of tokens. Think of things like XRP, XLM, Algo, HBAR. Probably XRP and HBAR are my two favorite ISO tokens to
Beautiful.
focus on. I think that they're going to
Sorry to
do
interrupt there,
incredibly well.
Bisher. Some people will be asking, what's an ISO token? I can already see in the comments here. Someone already posted here. Let me just find it. They said they wanted you to actually talk about the ISO tokens. So if you can explain it just for everyone rather than listening to the interviewer here, what's an ISO token?
An ISO token is something that has met a compliance standard in terms of messaging between the banks, right? So the idea is that it is ready. The big thing about them is that people anticipate them to be a part of the new financial system. Now, a lot of that tends to be rumor and conjecture. What I
Mm.
do like about them is that they're known as the bankers' coins, right? So they're a bit
Yes.
opposite to the Bitcoin ethos, which is, cypherpunk. I'll do my own thing. I'll tread my own way and I'll forge my own path.
Mm.
Whereas these assets like XRP, XLM, XDC, Algorand, HBAR, they're things that are designed and positioned to be part of the new financial system. Now, whether that happens or not, we'll wait and see. But what is interesting about this ISO certification is that it can meet bank standards and bank compliance standards,
Yeah.
right? Whether and if something isn't ISO certified, it doesn't mean that it's a bad cryptocurrency. It just means that it's more decentralized and does not rely on legacy audits and legacy approvals
Sure.
to be able to operate. But with that said, you don't want to fight the banks. You probably heard "don't fight the Fed,"
Yep.
right? I'm a big believer in. I don't care for the banks. I think that if they completely disappear tomorrow, I'll be perfectly fine. But
Exactly.
for those, but for those who are obviously wanting some semblance of normality to continue and maybe continue to use the banks but have different rails, XRP can be a much faster rail compared to the SWIFT system.
Right.
So the legacy financial system is slow, cumbersome, gated, quite difficult to deal with, whereas these ISO class of tokens promise a better and more fairer financial future for all involved. And I can get
Interesting.
behind that as a class of tokens that I would be happy to have my clients have exposure to.
Well, we're looking at XRP right now, so that's the most well-known ISO token. You've also got XLM, Stellar Lumens. That's this one right here. There's a couple of others you mentioned. What were some of the others ones that were ISO compliant?
Algorand and HBAR,
Ah,
Hedera Hashgraph.
yes.
I love Hedera. It's
Yeah, so
probably one of
Algo
the
here,
altcoins.
I've actually been trying to trade this a little bit recently. So interestingly, I've been in crypto since 2013, and I probably should have known that Algo was actually ISO compliant, which I didn't even know. So that's, I mean, it's one of the ones on my list here that I'll be, in a big way, if when particular things show they're going to break levels and all that kind of stuff, and H bar as well. Yeah, see, here's good old H bar too. So around about 16 cents, having a bit of a dip like everything else is. But if onwards and upwards, for me personally, if it can break out through around about that 20 cent mark, then yeah, that's a major area for me. And ISO compliant. So yeah, I would be big into Hedera Hashgraph as well. So
Absolutely.
thanks for sharing. Any other further classes that you like, or shall we talk about Stormrake and cryptocurrency brokerage, or any final comments on other altcoins?
No, that's pretty much it. I've always said less is more when it comes
Right.
to the cryptocurrency markets. People
Mm.
oftentimes can see, like, they go into CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap or TradingView and see this, like, a massive list of cryptocurrencies. Like, I don't know which one I need to get. I need to get all of them in case one of them pops off.
Mm.
Imagine you buy, you know, $10 of every single cryptocurrency on the planet, right?
Yeah. Sure.
And one of them really pumps, right?
Yeah.
What pumps, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you made $100,
Yeah. Great.
right?
Great.
Well done,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Lunch
You
is
can
on you,
buy
buddy.
in 3 years' time. You'll be able to buy yourself two of those cafe coffees.
Yes, that's right. So what I like to have is concentrated positions that I can really put bet big on, invest heavily into.
Mm.
So that way my return, it means that it doesn't have to go up tens of thousands of percent. It can go
Correct.
up 200, 300%, and I can
Correct.
still do quite well from it.
Correct.
So that's why I like concentrated positioning. So my top 10, if I could share a top 10
Please.
with so Bitcoin, number one. You can't go
Yep.
wrong with Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. Then my favorite layer ones, Ethereum, Solana, Sui, and Sonic. That would make, the top five. And then I would go into the three X's, XRP, XLM, XDC, and then round it out with Algorand and HBAR. So
Ah,
that's my top 10.
nice. Now, perfect lead in. Perfect lead in to talk about Stormrake, of course. I presume, and let me ask the question: can all of those be purchased through Stormrake? Those top 10.
Absolutely, my
I
friend,
thought so.
through a simple phone call or email as well.
Okay, let's talk about Stormrake now. You've been the COO for a bit now, and I want to know more about a cryptocurrency brokerage. Obviously, it sounds just like back in the 80s, you called your stock market broker and all that, and it's a full service. Can you run me through Stormrake's brief history and its main offerings, features, benefits, and also at the end of this, of course. Stormrake does sponsor Good Morning Stackers as well, and I have a special offer for everyone if they felt like signing up with an account, or if they want to send this to the friends and family and they want to sign up with an account, you get a special discount. But let's talk Stormrake, mate. Go for it.
Absolutely. So, at a very high level, we actually started the firm in 2019, co-founded by Doug Hemingway and Michael Millmeister. They started it as a private trading fund where they were running stat arb or statistical arbitrage strategies that they were developing behind the scenes. That was just a very private, closed-end fund where they were just trading for themselves, right?
Mm,
2022, they were getting a lot of friends and family asking them to trade on their behalf. And
mm,
so they were like, look, I won't trade on your behalf, but I'll be happy to broker for you, because they had their own trading engine, which was facing 30 different exchanges, finding them the best price to buy and sell the arbitrage strategy. So for those who don't know what arbitrage is, you buy Bitcoin on one exchange for 105,000 and you sell it on another exchange for 105,500, and you pocket the $500 difference, right?
correct.
So that's what they were doing.
Right.
So they had this really fantastic trading engine, and they were like, what we'll do is we'll repurpose the trading engine to be an internal brokerage tool. The client just calls up, says, I'd like to buy 50K of Bitcoin. The engine finds the best price. We secure and send off a trade confirmation. They wanted to find the best broker on the planet to be able to help them build the brokerage. That's where I came in. My whole career has been in foreign exchange and brokerage dealing, crypto brokerage dealing. So I came in 2022, and we've gone from having less than 100 customers at the start of 2023 to now
Oof,
over 5,000.
that's
So
amazing.
yeah, it's been a big run up in the moment. We service primarily Australia and New Zealand, and we're now happy to announce that we're servicing the United States of America as well. So that's been an awesome run up for us. A lot of compliance work to be able to service the United States,
Yeah,
but that's
man.
been a good win for us. And then what we do in a nutshell is our clients, once they open the account, they get assigned a dedicated broker, either myself or somebody from my brokerage team. But the whole team is available to you. Although you'll have a dedicated point of contact within the business, you'll have an entire team of brokers and traders around you to service your investments. So what does that look like for you? Once the account is opened, phone call or email for a purchase order, phone call or email for a sale order, we can provide you our safe, secure offline cold storage vaults if you wish to hold assets with us, or you can choose to withdraw to your own private wallet, right? Because a lot of stackers in the gold and silver space have this saying, which is, if you don't hold it, you don't own it,
My cold,
right?
dead hands.
That's right. That's right. So whereas us Bitcoiners, we also have something very similar. Gorgeous piece, by the way.
Mm.
We have something very similar, which is not your keys, not your coins. So if you want to hold assets yourself in your own cold storage, your own private keys, that's perfectly acceptable. We'll do a test transfer. Once you confirm it's received, that's when we send the full balance across. And we always do that with a courtesy phone call, just to authenticate your request and make sure it's you who's requesting it.
Mm.
And knock on wood, we haven't lost a single dollar. So that's awesome. And we process probably about 50 million in trading volume a month. We probably process over 100 million worth of deposits and withdrawals, and people are very satisfied with the service. And at any time you have a general question or inquiry, you don't have to use ChatGPT or Google. You can give us a call. We can guide you. We can give you insights,
Yeah, right.
recommendations. It's a much more handheld service. Whereas if you're facing a crypto exchange, which again, I love using them, we use
Mm.
them quite extensively in our business. But if you're using an exchange, you're on your own. You're facing a platform, you're on your laptop or computer, and that's all you can do, right? That's it.
Yeah,
And you've got no guidance, no support, no insights, no phone number to call upon. Whereas with us, dedicated support, dedicated guidance, dedicated insights and recommendations. We can help you build your portfolio. We can help you cash out. We have same day settlement when it comes to crypto and fiat withdrawals. So if you give me a call, Joe, you're like, mate, I've got to get some new furniture in my place. I'm decking it out.
I need
Bitcoin's
to
at
bury a
200K.
body. I need 100K now.
Yeah. You give me a call, you say, Bish, I need to sell. I'll say, no problems, job's done.
Yeah,
And if the assets are with us, if you're
right.
holding them yourself, which is perfectly fine, send them over to us through a safe transfer. Crypto transfers are received almost instantly, and then we'll sell them for you, and it should be in your bank account within minutes.
Amazing. I think a cryptocurrency brokerage, just like a stockbroker brokerage, is perfect. Again, back in the 80s and 90s, you kind of really didn't have a choice but to go with a share broker because we didn't have the internet. Now, we've got the internet. Yes, you can do this all yourself. If you're someone who is very technical savvy, etc. You're happy and willing to learn about the multitude of cryptocurrency exchanges. This account, this account, you've got to sign up for all of them. Some of them or all of them require identification. You've got to go through all those processes as well. If you're happy to do all that, which I do myself, I've been doing that again, crypto since 2013, but there are some people who just don't want to do that themselves, or maybe you've been doing it for a while and you're just tired of doing all that and you just want to move all your services and have it done for you by a cryptocurrency brokerage. I can't see any reason why you wouldn't, for some very cheap fees, I think. Now, let's talk about the fees. My understanding is, and well, I do know, you charge a 3% brokerage fee. That's, of course, if people were to go now to stormrake.com, which they should be going to stormrake.com. Let me share the screen, by the way. Let me share the screen of stormrake.com. Okay.
Yeah,
You can create an account up the top right-hand corner, but don't go do that just yet, because we have a special here for Good Morning Stackers watchers. But this is the website right here. Okay. It is completely tailored to you. Again, full service. Okay, you can call these guys and just have a chat. Oh, what are you guys thinking about today in terms of, the Bitcoin price, or what alts are you looking at now? What's kind of trending now, etc. So they're there just for a good old chat. They've got work to do, but they're there for a chat as well. You do have a dedicated broker, okay, all safe and secure, etc. And I'll come back to you, Bishop. My understanding
absolutely.
is the brokerage fee is whatever you pay plus 3%. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the brokerage fee is standard across the board is at 3%.
Right.
So if you come to me off the street and say, I'd like to use your services, I'll say, no problems. There's no hidden costs, by the way. I just would like to be very clear about that.
Sure.
No deposit fees, no withdrawal fees, no spread, no slippage, no price premiums, no price markups of
Right.
any description. Pure price execution, the best price available in the market at the time of the request gets passed on to you. None of it comes to us, and we take a 3% clip on the trade value.
Of course.
However, for the Good Morning Stackers community, you guys go from 3% down to 2% for the life of the account
Correct.
up up until June 30th. Reason why I say that is our costs have been going up pretty consistently here on our end, particularly banking costs, because none of the banks like us, so they charge us an arm and a leg.
Yep.
So for up until the end of the financial year, anybody who opens up an account will be on 2%. There would be a slight increase. It's not going to be a massive one, mind you, in 2025 financial, 26 financial year.
Yep.
It's just a small nominal increase to kind of
Okay.
offset our banking fees.
Sure.
But for now, 3% down to 2% for the life of the account, and you guys are going to get taken care of.
Well, I'm sharing the screen right now. So this is the official Stormrake Good Morning Stackers partnership right here. 33% lifetime off the brokerage fees. Again, the brokerage fee right now is 3%, so you'll get it for 2% for the life of the account. As Bisher said, if you sign up before June the 30th this year, using this link below. So it's bit.ly/good GMS Stormrake. I'll just put a link below. I'll put it in the live chat, or I'll put it in the info section of the YouTube page, or as part of the pinned comment in the X replies, whatever. bit.ly/GMS Capital, then Stormrake there. Then create an account from there, and instant 33% lifetime discount. Again, before June 30, that'll go from 3% to 2%. You could still be able to use this after June 30 if you're watching this down the track. It's just it'll go from whatever it is, 3 point something percent to 2 point something percent, whatever it is, but it's still 33% off lifetime. But get in before,
Correct.
at least create your account. That's what I would actually
Correct.
suggest. So, for example,
Absolutely.
if I would even suggest, right, for anyone who, look, if you're Bitcoin okay, obviously you're a crypto hater, and if anyone's watching on this and they hate crypto, and they're not going to do it anyway. But if you are already in crypto, if you are crypto cool with it, it does probably pay to at least sign up for an account using that link. Now, the reason is, well, number one, it doesn't cost you anything, okay? And you don't know what you're going to want to do in the future. And because of the price rise come July the 1st, you're going to have lifetime 2% fees, not 2 point something, or if your fees go up later on down the track, all that kind of stuff. I will double check on that.
I want to be very clear though.
Yes.
You guys get grandfathered in. You do
Yes.
not get any increases, but that's not the way I do business, right?
That's what I was about
always
to
set
ask you. Is it 2% always? Yeah.
Always, always, always. So when I set my budget for the new financial year, I have to look at things like my compliance costs, my banking costs, payroll, all that kind of thing, and then I set my fees based off, what I expect my costs to look like, and
Right.
that's how I operate. But if I say to somebody, you're going to come in and you're going to be on 2% for the life of the account, that's for the life of the account, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
I would never turn around and say, you're now on 2.5, 2.4, 2.3, whatever it is, right? That's not the way I operate. If I tell you 2% for the life of the account, it's guaranteed, locked in, no increase in cost whatsoever, no matter what I face on my end. That's just how I do business.
That is the question I was about to ask, and you answered it for me. So, again, it does pay to at least sign up for an account. And what I would highly suggest is if your friends, your family, anyone who's been thinking about crypto, and again, no one wants to do it all themselves. Your grandfather or your parents or whatever, maybe they're more from like my time where I grew up pre-internet as well. And it's like, what is this laptop thing? They can't even like send an email. They're used to the stock market broker. Give them the gift of Stormrake and give them the gift of 2% fees, again, using this particular link. Well, I'll share it one more time. Again, I'll share it everywhere. You can find it everywhere on my channel right here. Good morning, Stackers.
Something to note. Something to note as well is we support a range of legal entity accounts as well, so self-managed super funds, corporate
Ah,
accounts, discretionary trusts. So we
yep,
support that as well. So if you're wanting to buy and hold Bitcoin in your retirement fund, you can. If you're
yep,
wanting to buy and hold Bitcoin in a family trust, or you might be an active trader and you're
great.
trading in a corporate entity, all of that is supported as well.
Fantastic. Now, I know you've got to go. We've got about another few minutes. If you can stick around, we just have some viewer questions. Would you have to answer some of those?
Absolutely, my friend.
All right, let's go back as far as I can. Some of them, I can see some ones coming through. I'll go back to here, actually. There's a couple of ones from Knackers O'Reilly, which is really smart questions. I like them. So, question Knackers O'Reilly says, do all your customer transactions, are they all reportable to the ATO? That simple, obvious question.
No. So we do not report or declare any of your transactions or any of our customer transactions to any third party whatsoever, ATO or otherwise. Come end of financial year, we will provide you a comprehensive transaction summary with us, both in CSV and PDF format. What you decide to do with that information and how you wish to report or declare is between you and your accountant. It has nothing to do with me, right? Now, obviously, people can, do the right thing or do whatever they want or not wish to declare, that's perfectly fine. I'm not giving tax advice here. What I am saying is that we do not feel comfortable as a broker sharing sensitive financial information with a third party, ATO or otherwise. We provide you all of the transaction records, and then you're free to do what you want with that information.
Yep, that's exactly what we used to say to everyone in the gold bullion dealership industry as well. Not reportable, you got to do your own thing. Nakas is also asking, is there an annual report on from Stormrake covering all transactions? I presume you could see all your transactions anytime you wanted, I'd imagine.
Yeah, you can within the Stormrake portal, but we also do provide an annual end of financial year report, provided complimentary, of course, and you can download reports whenever you like within the portal as well. But that's just all provided there for
Yeah,
you, so you can
and
just download it and do whatever you want.
that's useful for the self-managed super funds, etc., where they need to do certain things, what they're
Correct.
reporting on. Yep,
Correct.
fantastic. Now we have a huge crypto lover here who likes to tell us all about his favorite cryptos. This is Gerald Draper. So, for example, he's giving us a whole bunch of hashtags here. That's good. XLM, XRP, HBAR, Quant, I think that is, ZBC, and
Mhm.
FTAO as well. Okay, fair enough. He said
Awesome.
here, I haven't pre-read these. Better solution speculating projects being facilitated during this transition. A SWIFT system is upgraded by the Bank of International Settlements and the International Monetary Fund and compliance deadline. Have any thoughts on that comment?
Look, I mean, again, that's that whole speculation and conjecture arm. What I love about the XRP army, about their Swift deadline, is it always moves out. So I've been hearing about the transition of the Swift system into the XRP new quantum financial system since 2018. So they're like, it's happening in January 15th, 2019. January 15th, 2019 comes around, nothing changes. It's don't worry, we've pushed out the deadline is now July 6th, 2021. It comes bang, off you go. In
Right.
fact, the last deadline was March 10th, right? There was going to be a huge, huge new shift in the financial system come March 10th. That didn't happen. Now, that doesn't mean that XRP, XLM, they're not going to do well. I just think that a lot of it is kind of cooked up in internet forums or on social media, and then it kind of circulates across the community, and then people accept it as gospel.
Mm.
Whereas for me, I'm a reality guy. I deal in facts. Now, when it does happen, and if it does happen, which I hope it does, because then I'll make a pretty penny. Um, it'll do quite well. But just giving, random line in the sand dates that
Mm.
continuously get moved out is just not how I operate.
No, it's hard. It's also, and again, we love the fanboys and all that stuff. And I called Gerald Draper a fanboy in the most the good of terms, not a derogatory term. It's a complimentary term. But I do agree that It's like the boy who cried wolf as such. If you say this date, and then it just starts lacking credibility the longer it goes down. That doesn't mean it won't happen. It's just, yeah, maybe don't give those specific dates. And I do agree with that. Knackers has asked very quickly here, and you let me know if you have to go, because I know you've got other things to do. Knackers has
Mhm.
asked, I will be interested to know more about cold wallets, hardware wallets, etc. How good are they with the advantages and disadvantages, etc.? Any thoughts on hardware wallets, cold wallets, etc.?
Yep, that's a great question. So there's a great quote that we use here when it comes to custody solutions, which is there's no such thing as a perfect solution. There are only trade-offs, right? So you can use a custodian like Stormrake, which gives you safety, security, gives you the ability to have a professional managing your assets. But what it does give you is counterparty risk, right? You're trusting that Stormrake is going to, as a going concern, is going to continue to operate. We've got all of our checks and balances to separate, things in the right way, which we obviously have, but you still have an element of counterparty risk. Whereas if you decide to self custody, then you're completely trusting yourself, which is a good thing because you want to be able to empower yourself. But there are different things to keep in mind. So a hot wallet, it's something that you can put on your mobile phone. The seed phrase or the recovery phrase sits in the app itself, which means it
Mm.
could become compromised.
Mm-hmm.
But they're good for quite little, easy transactions. Like for example, I'm a big fan of Moon Wallet, and I can click here and go. Receive. You guys can see that there. You can send me Bitcoin, happy days, and then I'll be going to the Fox Hotel in Collingwood. Hopefully, Joe, if you've got a free time this
Yeah,
evening,
man.
come down. Come down. Fox Hotel in Collingwood. They
Yeah, right.
accept Bitcoin over Lightning. So while I'll go and have a pub dinner, I'm going to go there with a bunch of other Bitcoiners,
Hell
and
yeah.
they accept Bitcoin for like a nice steak and or Palmer and a beer, and you'll be
Nice.
able to do that. So I like hot wallets, but I only keep a little bit of funds there, just like I would keep like a debit card around with 500,000 bucks, not much, because if anything happens to it, I'm not gonna cry over it.
Right.
And then majority of my assets sit in my own personal cold storage. I won't go into exactly how I keep it safe because that's obviously an operational security risk.
Of course.
Um, but at the same time, I don't rely on a singular private key. I split it up and then keep it in geo-dispersed locations so that if anything happens to a location, I can still recover my
Yeah.
assets. So
Yeah.
it's really important to kind of put a lot of thought into that. And
Mm.
so for a lot of our customers, they might be hearing this, or potential clients might be hearing this and getting overwhelmed. Take it easy, get off zero, buy yourself some Bitcoin and cryptocurrency with Stormrake. We can keep it safe for you as you get comfortable. You might only have $10,000 worth of Bitcoin. Learn how to self custody at your own time, at your own pace. Will transfer to you because our custody solution isn't a one or a zero. It's not like you either use our custody or you can't use it. You can keep it safe with us. You can then withdraw later on, and that maintains your account still. People often have a misconception that they need to have some funds in an account with us to maintain the relationship, which
Right.
couldn't be further from the truth.
Right.
Some of my highest value clients come in. I've had this farmer in far north Queensland, and he'll come to me once every 3-4 months, drop $2 million into the bank account, buy some Bitcoin, withdraw it back to his cold storage. I'll say,
Wow.
"See you later, mate." I mean,
Yeah.
to give you an idea, this guy, he called me once and he goes, "No, sorry, I called him and I was giving him an update on the markets." And he turns around to me and he goes, "Bish, I want to have a chat, but I've got to go to the back of the property. I'll give you a call back." He calls me back 4 hours later, and I'm like, "I thought you were going to give me a call when you got to the back of the property." He goes, "Mate, I just got here." Right? They're huge expanse of land, right? So he does quite well for himself. And yeah, like he'll buy and then he'll withdraw, but I'll still give him updates on a regular basis, take care of him.
Right.
You don't need to have funds in an account to get good quality service.
Yeah. You'd be really surprised of the people that, even though might be a young farmer, and has the time probably at night or whatever to jump on exchanges and do it all themselves, they just don't want to, and that's why you have the security, the safety, the, I guess, and I would call it the community of Stormrake, in which again you can just call and have a chat to your friendly broker. etc. Yeah, and the fees I would say are, I mean, comparable or even better to some of the other ones out there. I mean, if you want to go and buy on Coinbase or something, like that, you're still paying. If you're using their buy button, buy, sell, hit buy button thing, not there going to the exchanges and all that, you're still paying your like your 2% fees and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes even more. So, someone was asking here, who does Stormrake use to buy and sell crypto on your behalf? Well, it's just the whichever exchange has the best price. That's what you were saying before, obviously.
Correct, correct. That's right.
Yep.
That's right. I mean, something that's happening right now is there's been strikes from Israel on Iran's capital of Tehran. We've seen Bitcoin just take a leg down. Gold and silver have probably taken another leg up. So that's something to keep an eye on as we kind of speak. Bitcoin's now trading at 103. So
Ah,
that's that whole
interesting.
so that's that whole risk on component
Yeah, right.
not really working in our favor. The
Yeah,
market has obviously had a bit of a significant pullback as of late. Gold's still holding up quite nicely. It's actually just spiked on the announcement.
yeah, right.
Silver
So
remains flat.
I didn't realize you were mentioning that as we were talking. Oh, that's interesting. You're right.
Like
Okay, so yeah,
literally just now, just now.
right there you go. I'll take a look at the gold price in just a second. I'm going to do a quick little gold, silver, platinum price update for everyone after we finish here. But look, price goes up, price goes down. Obviously, you're not in it for the short-term prices. You're in for the longer-term moves. And as you said, you could even see the price getting down to that kind of 93, $94,000 kind of area. Many other people are suggesting it could get down to there. But look, we've come from $75,000, and just do a quick little Fibonacci for everyone here. Just take this low and this high. If this is the little interim high, you can get anywhere down to actually like $90,000. That puts it in the zag zone, and that's the normal expected range that you would see a price retrace to coming from a lower price. Market zig and market zag. So yeah, and that's previous resistance right there. So even down to like 90,000, 89, $90,000, that's actually just par for course. That's
This
completely
is
normal.
this is glorious real-time viewing because guys, buy the dip. This is absolutely a discount of the highest levels. Reason why I'm saying this to you guys are so privileged because usually I'm going to jump on the phone and share this exact same sentiment with my clients right now,
Mm.
is that I come from a part of the world known as the Middle East. My father's Syrian, my mother's Lebanese. Middle Eastern conflict is not new. Middle Eastern conflict has been around for thousands of years. The sands are coated with my people's blood, but it's fine, guys. I just need to tell you to take a breather. This is what I'm going to tell my clients because I know my clients are going to be panicking on the red candles. The red candles are there to buy. The fact that Iran and Israel are having a little tit for tat type of exchange
It's been
is to
going
be
on for
anticipated.
how long?
Thousands and thousands of
Yeah,
years. It's
yeah,
and Middle Eastern conflict isn't going anywhere.
yeah.
It's a very contentious area.
Mm.
Thousands of years of history, thousands of years worth of culture, different peoples, different ethnic groups. I'm just here to tell you, take a deep breath. This is the time to be buying. You buy the dip, you buy the dip, you buy the dip,
Yep.
right? The conflict that we're seeing now, as horrific as it is, and I'm not here to try to profit from other people's misery. This is something that's near and dear to my heart because it's obviously affecting a region of the world where I come from. But I just need to tell you guys that these things are always going to be happening. I remember in last year, I think it was coming around October,
Mm.
there was a volley of missile strikes exchanged between Israel and Iran. Iran shot off missiles and hit Tel Aviv, a couple of places near it. Not fully, but they had the Iron Dome. Anyways, what happened at that time was Bitcoin got sold off. It got
Mm.
sold off from 60,000 to 54,000. We're now
Yep.
seeing a sell-off from 108 down to 103. But you can see in that time we've gone from 60, 54 pocket to
Yep.
now over 100, right?
Exactly.
And if you bought the dip when it went from 60K to 54K, the last time Middle Eastern tensions flared up, you'd be up
Correct.
over 100%. This is happening now in real time. We're seeing a increase and a flare up in tensions in a part of the world which is particularly volatile. If you're buying the dip when it goes from 108 to 103, and then we still hit our upside target of 200, you've doubled your investment. And again, I'm not trying to profit from other people's misery. This obviously affects people in a very real way, but again, we just
Well,
have to be calm and rational
if
investors and
it's
not panic with the rest of the
yeah,
market.
and if it's going to happen anyway, are you just going to sit at home and just do nothing about it, or can you protect yourself as well, and maybe even, and again, it sounds terrible, I'm going to profit off this, but it was going to happen anyway. So I absolutely agree with you. I'm going to let you go, mate. You got stuff to do, so, and then we'll have a quick little bit of a chat with the rest of the audience. But this has been an amazing chat with Bisher from Stormrake. Bisher is the Chief Operating Officer. And mate, I can say, I think we'd look forward to having you on as a regular guest. Have a think about it. I think you liked it. I reckon you did. And hopefully we'll see you again soon. I'll let you go, my friend, and I'll keep going and really appreciate your time, mate.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Take care.
No worries. Let me move over to this one. What do you guys reckon? That was absolutely cool. So that was Bisher from Stormrake, stormrake.com. Once again, I'll share the screen. Let's take a quick look at the markets. I'll show you right here. Where are we? So this is platinum. While I was talking to Bisher, I had a quick look at platinum. Let's see what gold has done. He just mentioned. So it looks like Tehran. What was it? Israel has. So look at gold. Okay, give me 1 second. Look at this, guys. Get your last comments in and tell me what you thought about that. And let's take a quick look at gold. All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to go back to here. Let me go. This is the X account. Tehran. Me watching Israel blow up Tehran. Is this what's happened? Okay, Israel. Interesting. What the blazes is going on in the world? Tehran, Israel. So, according to AF Post, Israel is currently striking Iran's capital in Tehran. Every citizen of Israel was just woken up at 3 a.m. by an air raid siren. This was followed by a special phone alert to all citizens. Okay, the smoke is rising over Tehran. Okay, so we've seen gold have a little bit of a move. We were at $3,380 this morning, so it's up about $20. That's on the daily time frame. Take a quick look on the 4-hour. Yep, okay, so we've now moved out of that little area here. Again, things like this, these little news things, I wouldn't call it little, I don't mean to diminish it, but these are the little, the little spikes. Okay, so doesn't mean gold's going to continue going up. I do feel, however, seeing as though now, isn't it interesting? I posted this morning on the Gold and Silver Stackers Australia forum about the fact that we were just poking our head right here at this downtrend line, and then as we're talking with Bisher from Stormrake, Israel has hit Tehran with some strikes. Obviously, some fear going into the markets. Gold tends to go up, so we're above there. And as I have been saying, while we are above this downtrend line, where is it? That one right about there it is. While we're above that decline, I've been saying a new all-time high for gold is coming very soon. Now we're above here. A new all-time high for gold might be coming even sooner than that. Again, though, this is a reaction to some news, so don't assume we're going to just rocket up from here. Pardon the pun, didn't even mean to do that. So just keep an eye on it. Of course, what you would want to see it do is definitely clear here, and that's at that 3450 level. So that's where we are with gold. Take a quick look at silver. Yeah, silver's not reacting to it. It's kind of everyone runs to gold first. So silver is at $36.15 US. It had that dip, which was good to see. That dip down to And interesting, on the 4-hour time frame, from this low and this high, we had a dip on the 4-hour, a spike down below the 0.236 Fibonacci, but it held as support after it closed. Isn't that amazing? I would call that very bullish. Okay, so we haven't even gotten into the normal zone that you normally would. The normal zone that you normally would, we haven't even, we haven't even gotten into the zag zone after the breakout of past $35. So you would expect a retrace to come down into here for silver, and we've just been finding support there at the 0.236. Very bullish while above it. Let's hope we just bounce off there, and then onwards and upwards we go for silver. And for platinum, get your final comments in. Platinum's also having, it's finally having its downward move now. Okay. I'm much more confident now. I was confident before. Remember I was talking about, would we take a pause here? I think I said it was a 60% chance. I hedged my bets there. A 60% chance that we would see platinum pause at around about that Fibonacci level at 1,230. We crept up all the way up to here at about $1,300 just then, basically. But you can see here, platinum, I am expecting a pause. Higher highs, equal highs on the relative strength index. Now we've had a higher high here up to that 1,300, and that's a lower high in the relative strength index. We're just coming down into the normal range of the RSI as well. So now this is where I'm expecting the dip to occur. Now that's fine. Markets go up and markets go down. So let's just take a quick look. If I take it from this $1,300 level, where is the expected support zone, or the zag zone as it's called for platinum? You're looking at it right about, I don't want you, I want you. Right there, and we just move that. Yep, between the 0.618 and the 0.382, and that's anywhere into the range of $1,205 US, anywhere down to $1,145 US. So that's a, whatever that is, a $60 range. Okay, so that's fine. Anywhere down into there, I'm expecting probably a touch of at least 1,205. If you get anywhere down to here, no problem. Again, that's just normal. Markets go up, markets go down. As long as you're holding around about that 1,145, that's just par for course, man. Again, just like I said with Bitcoin, and then eventually I think we do that. Yeah, it looks like we want to tick over and spend a little bit of time sort of in the normal range, probably coming down to around this kind of level here. I'd imagine you probably, yeah, right there. See that? Let me get rid of that for you. Right here. I'd imagine it could come anywhere down to there. I wouldn't expect it to get lower than around about your 40 level on the relative strength index. Doesn't mean we're going there, but just watch out anywhere down to that 1,145. Might be a perfect time to continue to dollar cost average into platinum. I won't do the miners or anything like that at the moment, but look at Bitcoin, as we've been talking about, Bitcoin and crypto. One more look, and then we shall get out of here. Actually, I'll take your final comments and your questions. Now, look at that. That's a big dip. Again, this is just based on the news of Israel attacking Tehran. So you have a big dip down to 103,500. On the 4-hour time frame, that's taking us down into extremely undervalued or extremely oversold already. Okay, you can spend a bit more time there, so we're not saying it bounces. I'm not saying it bounces from here. You've also got a bit more of room to move. As I said, anywhere down to that. Really, I mean, healthy retrace is anywhere down. That's the index. Anywhere down to, yeah, here we go. Down to that 90,000 is actually a healthy retrace. Come up from 75, top here for the moment, it seems, at 112. That's a really normal move down to that 90,000 area. Well, you do want to watch out for here, the buyers. I know this is very deep liney here. You've got all these buyers here, which we've been talking about. I would like to see the preference to bounce off that $93,000, $94,000 area because of all these previous trapped buyers, all that previous trapped money here. I'll allow it down to 90,000. I would say if you crack through 90,000 and starts closing on the daily and the weekly time frame below that 89, 90,000, we might need to reassess, but anywhere down to here is completely fine. Okay, and if you do want to sign up for a Stormrake account, again, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything, and you might want to send this to your friends and family who may have been thinking about getting into crypto in a big way, or even a very small way. There's no minimums. Okay, you can buy $100 a Bitcoin, no problem. Just do it with Stormrake, stormrake.com. Normally, you will get charged 3% brokerage fee, but if you sign up with this code below, it's actually a link. Okay, so you can type it into the address bar, bit.ly/GMS, capital letters, Stormrake. Do that. That'll take you to the create an account section, and just create your account and go from there. And then they'll lead you through the account creation process. Doesn't cost you a single dime, and have it there just in case for the future. Okay, and send this to your friends and family as well. It's like, just do this, doesn't cost you anything, and they get lifetime 2% fees instead of 3% fees, and that's even when, and they are increasing their fees. Stormrake.com will be increasing their fees come July the 1st this year, so you've got another 17 days in which to sign up for an account and get lifetime 2% brokerage fees for the stuff that they do for you. Okay, for the service, the best prices they can get as well. I just really think being a part of Stormrake and using a cryptocurrency brokerage for only 2% and all the service that they provide as well, I think it's highly worth it. Of course, that has been Good Morning Stackers with me, Joe Main. Although, let's see, any more final comments? Naka says that 3% fee, well, it's not 3%, it's 2%, can be heavy on big buy-sell transactions. Yeah, but that's why if you sign up with my thing there, it's only 2%. Wonder what they pay when buying or selling from these exchanges. The unseen fees, there are no unseen fees. You just get charged, 2%. Or 2% with my link, 3% if you sign up individually, 2% with my link. And don't forget, they're in business to make some money, okay? So if they're doing it all for you, they've got to charge for their services, but instead of 3%, you get it for 2% through me, through Good Morning Stackers. Awesome. Thanks for his insights, Joe. No problem. I always enjoy a fresh perspective. I think I'm going to try and get him on the show again, and I think he'll be very happy to do so. Thanks, Bisher. He's not here anymore, but have a wonderful weekend, folks. Knowing is half the battle. Actions will bring you down to the winner's circle. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, and always do your own research, make your own decisions, praise or blame one person, which is yourself. I absolutely agree, and we'll probably end on buy the dip. Yeah, anywhere down to that 90,000 is good. I wouldn't wait for 90,000, not financial advice, as Metamin just said, NFA. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching Good Morning Stackers. Get your tasty beverages ready. We'll do the first synchronized slurp for the day. It'll be your last. Wherever else are you going to synchronized slurp a tasty beverage, my non-fluoridated water, whatever you're drinking right now, grab it and we will slurp it together. It is the slurp heard around the world, and of course, we will dance it out because you have watched.
Good morning, Stack. Oh yeah, we're feeling fine. Good morning, Stack. It's podcast time.
Grab it.
Grab a tasty beverage. Let's get in the groove.
Let's do that.
Synchronized slurp. Now we're on
3, 2, 1, go. Oh, that is good. Thanks for watching, people. It was a special one. We'll see you on Monday, Tuesday for the live show, Monday for pre-records. Ladies and gentlemen, stay safe, stay informed, keep stacking whatever you're stacking, and have a great weekend. See you soon.